Alrighty, so this is Decent We the People News. Okay, one more time at it. Not an attorney, not giving you legal advice. Okay, don't do as I say. Just educational purposes only. Always look outside the box. Okay, never look straight forward. All right, so in this court case right here, I know him. All right. Eventually, this judge is speaking recused herself a couple of times. All right, and this is family courts, so it went dragged on for a good couple of years. Eventually, the courts squashed it. Right, they had no room for him because he never entered the 4D contract. Quit signing paperwork. My previous videos is what I said: don't sign paperwork. Okay, so it was squashed a few years after this. Okay, and again, it's another. Like the other video, standing as a man. He doesn't even know this other guy or even heard of him of my previous video. Okay. I do know that when I was witnessing one of the courts trying to take his land that never consented to and all that, the ex was trying to take his land and went back in there and had this lady judge go in there and planned out told her, do what this man's doing. Learn the Constitution. And I'm going to recuse myself again from this and basically telling her to quit bringing it in her court. Right? Hear the sovereign nature of this, right? It's not a sovereign citizen, he's a man and he's sovereign and he's one of the people, which is in our declaration, people. So a sovereign thing is not a bad thing. He's just not a sovereign citizen, okay? And he's not even saying he's one of the people. He's just a man, no more, no less, waiting for the claimant to appear. All right. Again, because if you're married and you're getting divorced and all that, your significant other is actually a witness. They are not a claimant. So who's making a claim, people? Sit and think about that. Where is the claimant?
Good morning, sir. You were represented without counsel, correct? You're having
Oh, it's going to be cutting in and out due to his internet.
connectivity issues. Is everyone else having a hard time understanding you, or is it just my side? Yes, I'm having a hard time. I'm going to pause for a second. Now, the first thing she said was sir. And if everything was working correctly, he would deny that. Sir is not his name. And he would have denied it if everything went into everything working properly. Do not accept sir. That is not your name. That's just a false name to get you in jurisdiction of some sorts. I don't know exactly how that works, but it's still just not your name. Wink, wink name. There's some feedback. Well, it sounds like Charlie Brown's he's sure. And it looks like he's frozen. Miss Carpenter, how long do you need? Your Honor, and this is a situation where there was drug testing ordered. He got a copy by posting on his door because he won't accept service. He did not take the drug testing. I'm not sure what the court wants to do. If she wants to formally order him to do it. Excuse me. So at this point right here, right now, the camera is kind of off and all that. They technically are not allowed to proceed forward without him being present, right? since he is present, this computer thing glitch and the internet happened, they were still not allowed to proceed forward without his acknowledgement. So they should have waited or canceled the court at this particular time.
Today, or you just want to take it and have the quick 10-minute hearing we usually have over failure to take drug tests? I did take a drug test, I just didn't go to that one. Okay, well, I don't accept drug tests from any other lab for many different reasons. But you were ordered to go to that lab. I was not ordered. The word shall does not mean an order. Okay. So, are you willing to go to that lab and take a drug test, sir? Is it an order? It is an order, yes. Are you willing to put that order in writing? Yes, sir. You'll get an order today in writing. Because that other order, shall doesn't even exist in a courtroom anymore, according to record. Sir, I'm not willing to fight with you on this. Are you willing to take a drug test today or not? That's all I need to know. Right now, I'm here under special appearance because I want to know who's got a claim against Ivan's property. Plain and simple. No man or woman has stepped forward. Sir. And I just want somebody to step forward and say if they have a claim. Sir, I just need to know if you're willing to take a drug test today or not. I've already got a drug test. It's not my fault if y'all don't accept it. I need you to answer my question. Are you willing to take a drug test? I need to know who's I'm not understanding, Judge. Yeah, I can't either.
So, to give you guys a little idea of what's going on, she's saying drug test and order and all that. Now, they're trying to force him into jurisdiction. Right now, he's not operating in jurisdiction of the courts. So they're trying to bring him into the jurisdiction. Alright? So right now, she really doesn't have a whole lot to say. So I'm just going to bring that up. Listen to the rest of this about the drug test.
Sir, I don't know what you're saying, but everything you're saying is breaking up. And now I think he's free. Sir, I don't know what you're there. It's breaking up.
I want to stop here right quick and kind of give you an update as well on that. Even though it's been squashed, before it got completely squashed, because he went through 3 judges and before it got squashed. Okay, number one, they never had jurisdiction because he never entered a contract. He never signed any papers, and he did not comply with the orders because there was no jurisdiction because he never signed a contract. But that being said, all right, while the courts was going on in the higher courts, there's a couple of people was having their little custody battle as well. And she asked the people about who they want to take care of their kids, why they was doing this battle. Well, this judge and they both said, oh, they want this man to do it, take care of them. Meanwhile, he's fighting his own battles in court with the family courts and all that, right? But they said they want him to take care of their offsprings while they're doing this battle. She got ahead and told the other side that to go ahead and let him take care of the offsprings. Okay? And she says, okay, well, do we need to bring him in to sign paperwork? And she told the attorney on that other behalf, as the family's behalf, right? Well, I know, and that she called out his name, and said he's not going to sign nothing. But, you can go ahead and release the offsprings to him while the custody's going on. So, but this is after she recused herself from the man and turned around and give somebody else's offsprings to him to take care of while he was still in battle of the courts. And knowing he wasn't going to sign no paperwork either, and still end up taking care of those kids after they're doing their court deal, by the way. They got everything settled and all that, and got the offsprings from him and took to the other parents, okay? But it's just a simple thing. She knew he wasn't going to sign paperwork, and there was no sense bringing him in. And P.S., she always went by, after knowing him a couple times in the courts, always went by his name. It was never Mr. or never last name. It went by his first name. And she showed great deal of respect to him while she is cussing everybody else out. When it was up to him when he came in, it was total respect. Yes, what can we do for you today? And all this kind of stuff.
Can you hear me now? Yes, sir, I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Yes, sir, I can. Yes, sir, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So back to my question. Are you willing to take a drug test at the lab that the court uses exclusively for your case? Yes or no? That depends. I'm not here to contract with y'all. I'm here as wanting to know who has a claim on my property. Just plain and simple. Who's got a claim? Bring them forward. Sir, I'm not going to argue that your child is your property or that your children are your property. And where do you get this child from? Sir, I'm not going to argue. It only exists on paper. Sir, I'm not going to argue with you at all today. My question,
On my last video, we talked about child. Child is on paper. It's son and daughter's property. I know it's a strange concept for some of y'all, but it is what it is. A child is a commercial property, right? And they got to use it for the contract. That name child has got to be into the contract because it's not a living thing or a living. All right, I can do a better job on this.
And I'm going to top that off as well. Okay, and what I was trying to get to at that particular time, child is a person under the age of 18. Well, the legal person is some form of business, contract, trust, so on, so on, so on. So, when I say business, it could have been a trust issue as well. So, this is the reason why he's staying out of that particular area with the child. He wants to get away from the person, okay, and keep that offspring as a boy or a girl, okay?
Proceed forward.
I'm going to ask you one more time, is if you are willing today to go to the lab that the court uses to take a drug test, and it's a simple yes or a no. Are you willing to pay for my time and trouble? I am the court, sir. I'm not paying for anything for you. Well, are you compensating for my time? I don't pay for litigants' time, sir. Okay, Ms. Carpenter, I don't think this is going to happen over soon. I'm going to make this, I'm going to have to deem this essential and do this in court. Do you have extraordinary relief right now? Where it actually belongs. We do, Your Honor, and actually...
This part is going to last a little longer. Now, number one, realize he's not ever entered the jurisdiction of the courts. So this is going to be a little bit more out of her league because she cannot get him in the jurisdiction. Number two, if they're ordering you to do a drug test and all that, why can't they pay for it? Especially if you're not in the jurisdiction. The jurisdiction of the courts is a very important thing. Do not enter it. This is a bad example on a court case. I got one further back on my videos. Everything didn't work properly, or it would have been a lot better way of handling this, and you would see a little bit more details, but I just wanted to bring up to give you some type of ideas how to stay out of jurisdiction and stand as a man or a woman. Alright?
Thank you. Where it actually belongs. We do, Your Honor, and actually, we had an issue and we had filed a writ. We got some temporary orders. You wanted us to have another temporary hearing. We'd asked for the drug testing, so there's a lot of issues in front of the court. Well, and the drug testing, as long as you're willing to compensate for my time. Sir, I'm not paying you for your time. I established that I have a drug test here. If you do not accept it, that's not on me. Oh, okay. I'm not going to debate any of this with you, sir. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to hear your case. So I remember when you came to temporaries, you defaulted Mr. Rowe. However, Mr. Rowe was inside the Ector County Courthouse in person. And even though the instructions were, sir, I just need to get this all on the record, okay? Yeah. So I need you to just stop for 1 second, and I will give you the opportunity to speak. But I have not interrupted you, and I'm going to ask that you not interrupt me. I think that that's only proper manners. So, you took a default to temporary hearing. However, Mr. Rowe was present at the courthouse. And while the instructions were clear that the hearings are not happening in person and that you must contact the court. Sir, I need you to stop interrupting me. I'm just trying to make a record. Zoom will only allow one microphone to talk at a time. So just let me get this out for the purposes of the record. So, you took a default. However, I was told by courthouse security, and then a few affidavits were filed on behalf of Mr. Rowe, with him stating that he was present at the courthouse ready to proceed, which is why I set aside the default and set this hearing. I will state that I do not believe that this hearing can happen via Zoom today. I think that based on the sovereign nature of the respondent, that we're going to have the hearing.
Right there, right. Due to the sovereign nature of this hearing, okay? So him being standing as a man is sovereign, okay? And he's not entering the jurisdiction. He's not entering contract, okay? And I am led to believe most of these things as with children and all that, with the person and all this kind of stuff, I'm kind of leaning towards, is this actually a MRAM jurisdiction issue to contract? Something to think about.
In person, and so I can't give you an in-person hearing for a while, though, on a Thursday, unfortunately, because we are booked out into the end of the year. So I'm going to have Ms. Khan send you guys an order that will state the date and time of when we must appear in court for your temporary hearings. If you filed any extraordinary relief, the court will extend it until we get to the hearing time. And Your Honor, since we have a child at issue, my client currently has the child. Is she allowed to keep that child until such hearing? I'm going to have you just, whatever extraordinary relief is filed, I'm going to extend. All right. Until we get to the in-person hearing, I don't know what else. I don't really know what else that we can do at this point. I know that we can't have this hearing today. Mr. Rowe's internet is cutting in and out, and I think it's going to be pretty complicated to do without having a really good internet from all the parties, unfortunately.
Okay, so everything was still goofed up on this internet connection thing and all that. Any other time he would have talked.
We're going to end it here because there's not really a whole lot else going on this. But to know in the future from this video, it was eventually squashed, and he never signed anything, never agreed to anything. Special judges came in here, tried to get him involved, and all this kind of stuff, and all that. But this video is a little bit longer, but it's longer of unnecessary things for this video. Okay, and I interrupted a couple of times, which is going to stretch this out too long. But again, people, he stood as a man, and I'd say one of the people, which what I would do in my paperwork. And there you go on that one. Okay, I'm going to do a follow-up of what he did with one of the other judges, the senior judges, or the senior judge. Okay, and basically did the same thing. So, these are We the People News. Till next time, bye y'all.